Alright, so for today's project, we are going to go wild and go right into the jungle with some inspiration from an artist named Henry Rousseau. And we are going to create a tiger jumping out of the woods. Now, this is my example that I made ahead of time. I didn't get a chance to paint the sky, but that's because when we get to the sky, I have a really cool trick that I can show you that if you have the right supplies, you can try at home. Alright, let's get started. So first off, you're going to need a couple different things. You're going to need a piece of paper. If you are going to be doing the painting, which I'm going to show you how, you can turn your ordinary water-based markers into paint. You are going to want to make sure your paper's a little bit thicker. If you don't have markers and you're not going to be doing paint for your sky background, you can just use regular drawing paper or notebook paper, copy paper, whatever you have available to you. Remember, at all times, use what you have. You don't have to do it exactly the way that I did it. But I am going to show you how to do this using crayons, paper, pencils, and how to make your blue sky with a watercolor wash. First, I'm going to start off by drawing the head for my tiger. Now, I don't want the head to be too big or too small, so I'm going to use my hand as a guide. With my hand, I'm going to make a fist and put it right in the middle of the paper. Holding my pencil straight up and down, I'm going to carefully draw a circle that goes all the way around my fist. I'm not tracing my fist. Tigers don't have heads that are shaped like fists. Then I'm going to pick it up and finish my head. Next, I'm going to add the details on the face. Upside down triangle for a nose. For the mouth, I'm going to go all the way around until I touch the nose. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This is the tiger's snout. Tigers have like those big white tiger cheeks, so that's what these are going to be. Now we're going to add the mouth below. Do a big U shape and another one right inside of it. So here's his lips, and inside his mouth he's got those sharp teeth. So use a zigzag line to create his teeth. There we go. So we have his nose and his mouth. Now we're going to do the rest of his nose that's going to arch around to where his eyes go. Starting at the two corners here by his nose, you're going to draw kind of an upside down J shape that comes up and down but stops. Do the same thing on the other side. And now for eyes. Now we don't want to really do cartoon eyes, we want to make them look kind of realistic. And the way that you can make realistic looking eyes is to draw a sad face connected to a happy face. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Every time I draw one thing, I draw the same thing on the other side. Helps keep the balance in my picture. Pupils. We'll add some color to those eyes later. Alright, now what do tigers need to hear? They need their ears. You don't want them to be too long like bunny ears, but you don't want them to be too short either. They're cat ears, so they're just nice and pointy. To make them look a little more realistic, you can also draw an extra line near the top. This is the outside of the tiger's fur, and this is the inside of the tiger's ear. Now it's time to add some stripes. You can add as many or as few stripes as you want. I usually do about 2 or 3 on each cheek, 1 on the forehead. I want to make sure I leave lots of room for the orange. I'll add whiskers later when I do the coloring. Now, before we add the body and the tail, we're actually going to do his paws first. One paw is going to be open with his nails up in the air, and the other paw is going to be kind of shut like this with his nails facing down, like he's taking a swipe at us. So let's start off with one of the paws over here. This one's going to be open. I'm going to draw a big U shape for the shape of my paw. And then at the top, I'm going to give him his 4 tiger toes. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Toe pads. Cats usually have little pads on their toes. I know my cat Winston does. And sharp claws. Now let's do the other one over here. Now remember, this one is closed, like it's taking a swipe at us. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. Big U shape. but these nails are closed with the pointy nails facing down. So I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and close the bottom. Okay? If some of them are a little bigger than the other ones, it's okay. They don't have to be perfect. Nails are pointed down. Pads just like the other paw. Now, before we do the rest of his body, we're actually going to add the jungle. So what you can do is you can do different shapes of leaves. You might want to space them out a little bit, do one here so it looks like one's behind it. And you want to make sure that they look like they are overlapped on top of each other. Go along the top and go along the bottom. If you want to put a little bit of a curve on some of them, not just make them look like triangles, go ahead, have a little fun with it. Add one more there. Now I'm going to add my tiger's body. At the bottom of his head, here's his shoulders. We're going to connect this paw and connect this paw. And now for the most important part, his tail. I'm going to stick his tail over here on the side. And he needs some stripes. Lots and lots of stripes. And there we go. Now our tiger is ready for coloring. Now, before I speed up this part a little bit and then let you color, you can always pause the video and color after you've looked at mine. I do want to show you a cool way of blending the colors on your tiger's face. If we look at my other example here, I have a little bit of yellow and some lighter oranges and some darker oranges that make him look a little bit more realistic. If you have the option of doing this, I urge you to give it a try. I'm going to start off with yellow, or even better, if you have the color dandelion, you could use that. It's kind of like a darker yellow, but not every crayon box has them anymore. Crayola actually stopped making dandelion and replaced it with Bluetiful, which I'm sure is a beautiful shade of blue, but it was kind of nice having that shade of yellow. I'm going to put a little bit of this yellow over here by the nose. Then I'm also going to pull out some yellow orange and some orange. And with my yellow orange, I'm going to blend it together. I'm going to overlap where my dandelion was a little bit. I'm going to put yellow orange all around the eyes and around the inside part of the face here. When I get to the outside part of the face, kind of like around the cheeks here, I can keep going with the yellow orange. And then switch to orange, which is a little bit darker, and use that to go all the way out to the edge of my tiger's face. And then to make it even darker, I can take red orange right along the edges after I've already colored them orange so it's not too dark, and add just a little bit. You don't have to press too hard on the crayon. It'll do it all on its own just because of the wax. It makes it easy for the crayons to blend. Let me bring that a little closer so you can see. So if you want to give that a try, go right ahead. It could be really fun and will make your tiger look even more realistic, and it's just a really fun way to practice your coloring skills. Now let's get the rest of this tiger colored in, shall we? Now, this is up to you. You could either take a light or dark blue and just color in your background. That's pretty easy, just fill in your sky. Or I wanted to show you how you could take some water-based markers and use them to create a watercolor paint to paint your background with. All you need is a piece of foil. Take your markers, scribble down some of your marker. I'm going to do a little bit of dark blue, and I'm going to do a little bit of turquoise because I also have this turquoise marker and I think that this will look really nice for my sky. Wet your brush, wipe off the extra, swirl it around in your marker, and there you go, instant paint. Now because you were using crayon, the wax in the crayon should kind of roll right off of everything that you've colored and protect your picture. But if you still want to be a little bit careful, take your time. And that's it for our tiger attack project. Now since tigers are essentially big cats, I decided to bring in an expert to find out what he thought of the project. So what do you think, Winston? You like it? Think he likes it. All right, have fun, do your best, and be creative, and don't forget to take a picture and send it to me when you're done so I can give you an art grade. Have fun, and see you again soon.